Okay, so we've got some torso, stomach, chest stuff today. Big pieces on the front.
Yeah.
I like these, and I wish I seen more of these. Most of what we get sent is like some combination of leg, arm, and hand tattoos.
That's where most people have tattoos.
So yeah, I try and feature these ones a little more predominantly.
Chest hurts.
I like big work though. I don't like the smaller stuff as much typically.
Most people are not that committed. All right, so this one says my solitary stomach tattoo. Hello. Saw the latest video on stomach tattoos. Who knows how old this is?
It's quite a while. This one's from February.
Here is mine. It's the church of my hometown.
Carl Skloga on fire.
Nice.
Burning church.
Designed by me and tattooed by Sebenit Vestergaards, Frederick Tattoo Klosken. I'm assuming you're like Norwegian or Swedish or somewhere up there in the region.
I like the little chicken on top or whatever the fuck it is.
This is a badass church.
It is, but it's too small. No, this whole thing should have been his whole torso.
I agree with that.
It's just like, doop, here it is.
If I was doing a burning church on my tummy, I would start with the base of the church at the bottom, and I would have that spire where he has the chicken. I would have that go up to my neck.
Yeah, of course.
All the way down.
There's a natural placement for this, and the way it arcs out, I would have had the fire come up and frame around the shoulders. You know what I mean? Like, you build this and then fire building off onto his shoulders.
I agree. I like the simplistic design, but not at the size the design is at. I think this design should have been a smaller tattoo.
Yeah, this one probably should have been smaller.
Like this design.
The thing is that I don't like about this, I initially liked it more than I'm liking it as I look at it more. I don't like how dark the church is in contrast to the fire.
I think this church, if it's the church that I'm thinking of or the style of church that I'm thinking of, I think they are dark.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The tattoo rules still apply. You still have to do it in a way that looks tattooed, like
aesthetically
tattoo.
Pleasing?
Well, not aesthetically pleasing. It's just that there are different rules for tattooing than there are for normal artistic concepts, right? Like things don't translate the same way on skin as they do on other mediums.
I mean, you can say that about every medium.
Sure, but in this case, this tattoo looks incredibly dark in some places, and okay, if you want to make the church incredibly dark, then put some depth into the fire. Right? It just looks like the fire wasn't complete.
Well, the fire was overly simplified. I actually think that...
whip shade some in the base of the flames.
I think even if the fire was more like complex with smaller flame strands, and it was the same as it is now, it would read better. I think that the darkness of the church reads more complex than the simplified fire.
Well, the fire doesn't look like it's done.
No,
it looks like a tap out on the fire. That's what it looks like to me. It does not look finished the way that it is, in contrast to how heavy and even transitioning in the church, and then to have none of that in the flames. It looks like, and I'm sure it wasn't, but it looks like a tap out. Right? It doesn't look complete. These don't read as embers; they read as petals.
Yeah, no, I think that
leaves or something.
The fire is all too big for what's happening here.
Well, especially the embers at the top.
But that's why I think this would have made a better, smaller design.
Well,
I think it would have been a better design on a thigh or something like that.
Another thing to make those look more connected to the piece would have been to continue that wispy kind of dark to light black shading around the fire at the base up onto the leaves at the front or the top.
Yeah.
And I'm calling them leaves now because they don't look like embers. They're way too big for one thing. If it's getting smaller as it's going up, why is the base of this fire here smaller than some of these embers at the top?
I agree. The proportions are completely fucked. The fire shouldn't be small at the bottom and huge at the top. It should be the opposite.
I do like these burning churches, but this one gets weirder the longer I look at it. And also, again, I'm just nitpicking, but The little chicken at the top here is, again, smaller than these embers at the top.
Yeah, and
So if this is perspective, it's
it's
weird.
wonky. It's definitely wonky. As I said, I don't hate the design, but there are some choices that are definitely really weird in it.
It gets stranger the longer you look at it.
I think I like the church and I like all the small fire, but the big fire in the like coming up from the back and then the little embers, that's the part where it goes wrong.
I have some problems in here too. Now that we pulled it up, why is this blob of gray shading not connected here?
I don't know.
Like it's just all uneven and weird in there. Like
Yeah.
it just looks like they just
Didn't know how to shade it.
well, they almost like they were afraid to butt up against this line for some reason. Like maybe they thought that it was too trauma to work next to, or I don't know. There was some strange decisions made here. It just looks sloppier the longer I look at it.
Yeah,
which is interesting because it initially strikes you.
I definitely think the idea of doing a burning church from your hometown is
Of course.
a great idea.
And
but
normally-
execution is.
I mean, I do like the subject matter, but I am always going to say that I'm substance over style with these things. And like, you can impress me with a burning church until I look at it and I'm not that enthused with how it's executed.
I love burning churches. All right, should we move on to the
Yeah.
next one?
So then we have this big back piece here, and I like this quite a bit more.
I like it as well, although is it like
I don't
kind
know
of
what
like
it
a
is.
robotic kind of Japanese fusion?
It looks like it's like almost like a robotic Hanya mask,
Yeah.
because
So
it
like
does
a-
have horns, but they look metallic.
Like a robotic Japanese fusion. Well, even just like all of these little orange spots and like the silver.
I'm having a
and the
problem though.
shapes. What?
The horns, they're too small, and why are they in the background? Like they're not lined hard enough or something. Or maybe it's just the angle or the darkness of this photo. Like the horns don't strike you. They should be at the front. Whenever you're doing the horns, you would think that they would have, like here we have it with the teeth. Teeth look like they're coming forward to some degree, although I would have done a harder outline on the teeth on the bottom. But the horns just kind of look like they're just painted on there. Like they don't look like they're standing out.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that choice is because they're coming up on his shoulders. So they kind of are background, where the mask is the
On
foreground.
him, but like, would they be in the back? Like, because the horns swoop back?
Yeah, they'd be in the background.
Why?
This ground would be first, and then if the horns are attached.
But normally in
farther
a
back-
Hanya mask, they come out.
I know, but you can tell by the placement on this mask, they're behind and coming back.
I don't know.
It's not. It doesn't make sense for the style of mask.
I
but
mean, I'm obviously nitpicking because, I mean, this is more of like an 8 or a 9 for me for tattooing, but that's where you have to nitpick.
I really like the colors of this piece.
Yeah, well, the use of orange and yellow in here is really, really awesome.
But it's next to these like gray, bluey, greeny.
Yeah, there's some really
sort of
neat
tones. Like, I really
opaques
think-
in here.
I definitely think that there's some really smart color play going on.
The subtle change in this gray that they've used here is really, really impressive work in particular to create different depth here. Whatever this color is, the darker blue / gray is really nice. I'd like to see that used
like
in some other things.
steely kind of steel gray.
Yeah, it
color
looks
is
almost
really
like a
fun.
shark skin color or like a light purple of some kind.
I'm impressed with all the little cracks.
Oh,
Like,
it's-
those are such nice little details.
The-
And then
The jewels or whatever.
the jewelry kind of like fiery tones, like they're just really well done.
It looks like it goes pretty well with whatever he's got on the rest of him. The only thing now is I think he should do a dark background, like maybe a dark color back or even a red background or something, and really push this guy off. I think it would work better than negative space, and I don't think you want to put anything else in there that would busy it up. Like I said, maybe the only thing that I would say is I don't really love the horns, and I think maybe round it out onto the top of the back here a little bit better. It just kind of ends, and I want to see something to frame all of this.
Yeah,
But it's really cool, different.
super cool.
So this is really cool. What is this, a bat? Looks like an evil bat of some kind.
Nah, is it a bat? I thought it was like a dragon or a foo dog.
I don't think it's a dragon.
No, it's not a bat. Or is it
Doesn't
a leopard?
quite look like a
It's kinda
foo dog.
got spots.
Whatever it is, it's full color madness, and I really like it.
It's a beastie. I like this beastie.
Yeah, it's
Or
got a
call him
good
Chuck.
shape. It's got a really good shape. This
Chuck
is what
the
I
beastie.
always say about like framing the chest well. I think he could have got away with bringing it up onto the traps a little bit more if you wanted, but he probably didn't want it on his visible areas. You could have curved that just a little bit more and brought it up just a bit farther, but
I think this is the front of the back of that guy. Yeah?
yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It is. It totally
So it's
is.
interesting to me that he didn't make this chest piece as big as the back piece. I wonder if he has a plan for the lower part.
Please do your nipples.
Yeah, well, right now the nipples aren't bothering me so much, but they're riding the line real hard. Like, because this is full color, usually the black and gray chest pieces, they bug me more for the nipples. But the full color ones, it's not quite as irritating. With that said, I do think that you should commit to that if you plan on extending onto your abdomen there, and I'm sure you do. Yeah, I really like this chest piece.
I love it. I think this artist that did, I'm assuming they did both pieces because
Almost
they're
likely
really similar.
similar style.
I think that their color palettes that they're using are insane.
It's kind of like new school Japanese.
Yeah.
The only thing is, again, here, like things don't feel incredibly weighty. Like, it is a little bit hard to decipher the front, like the face from the background.
The like face from the flower petals.
Yeah, so I just think maybe some harder blacks here to pull that apart.
I think that was part of the color choice too.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
But I think that
I don't think anything happened unintentionally.
No, but I think that since the flower petals are purple and then the creature is like a purpley pink, they're kind of blending together. Whereas if they had chose like a complete opposite color for those petals, you wouldn't be having the weight problem.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to tell. I know where it is, but it's hard to tell it apart from the background and assume that it's in the foreground, which depth is a big deal. A lot of people won't care about that, but for me it makes a big difference. I want to know right away where something is in ratio or in comparison to the background.
Yeah.
But I'm just nitpicking again. This
is like an absolutely perfect tattoo.
Yeah, for what it is, I would be happy to call this guy mine. I like this quite a bit.
If it were me, if this was my tattoo and the only fix that I would ever do is the purple on the floral like leaves, I would have gone for more of a like a purple that has more blue in it. So this purple has a lot of red in it. I would have gone for more of a bluey purple.
Yeah, a little cooler.
Yeah.
Because the foreground's pretty warm.
Yeah, and I think that would have played a lot better with the oranges that are in it. And I think that it would have pushed those colors forward a bit more. But that's just my thought.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, though, either way. So you have another kind of religious tattoo here today.
Yeah, I love religious ones. Okay, so this one is from Andres. Yeah.
Andre.
Andres.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. So, hey, Remy. Love watching your journey. Here's a bit of mine. Biblically accurate angel on my back. It doesn't take up my whole back. I want to put another piece.
You're fucking right, I would say that.
I want to put another piece on my upper back. I'm sure you'll say should have gone bigger. Laugh out loud. Yeah. The upper right piece I got when I was younger. Can't do much about that now, so I'll just try to keep the upper half Japanesey. We'll see how that goes. There's fresh pictured and heels pictured, different lighting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to have that made into a shirt pretty soon here. Why is it so small? And on the back it says, should have gone bigger. That's one of my favorite things to say, and I'm going to say it again. I don't care that you knew I was going to say that. You knew I was going to say that because you wish it was bigger. Right? And you're right. What can you do? You have this whoopsie up there, and it's very dark. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is it an M with some waves coming off of it?
Yep.
I just wanted to get
like
that out of the way
before
I address the issue with this other tattoo. is it looks a little bit better when it's in different lighting, but it's just, you can leave some things to the imagination, right? They shaded every part of this fucking thing with the same gray scale, right? If you had to just, and like, I think what happened here is too much of a good thing, because they had some really good ideas, right? The way they shaded these wings, I think, is quite nice.
Yeah, I think they could have thrown some harsher blacks into the
Well,
wings.
sure, but
And that would fix some of the problems.
well, they didn't need to do that if they didn't do so much gray.
Yeah, I agree
Right,
with that.
but they had to do either more negative space or more black. Because, like, if you take out some of this gray and don't add more black, because there is a sufficient amount of black in the fucking lining of this.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of lines.
I know,
here.
the lines are really black, and that's the one thing that's holding the tattoo together
there's
right now.
there's almost too much line work going on here. Like, it's disorienting to look at for a long period of time, because it's just so sharp. But because of all the soft gray, it softens it and takes away from the black that's there. You know what I mean? So if you had it just eased up on all this grayscale shading and just had a left, maybe like they shaded each of these petals or like feathers. Individually. If they had it like just thinned it out and left some negative space in each one of them,
Yeah.
all of a sudden this whole thing breathes more. So obviously you can't do that now, but what you can do now is you can go in and you can shade about half of this darker.
Yeah, I
Right?
would go in and do some darker shading in the wings too.
And I would bolden up the outline of the whole peripheral of the tattoo, just around it. Because I don't think that the edge of it should be as lined as the inside of it either. It makes the whole thing look far too
It's flat.
flat. Yeah, inconsequential. The only thing I do think they really, really got right was all the eyes. That is exactly what I'm saying, right? The right amount of black to negative. And all these eyes, they did it.
Yeah, because I can read the eyes.
The other thing that...
I can't read the hair at all because it's blending in with the wings.
Well, the hair is basically not there, right? Unless you know it's there, it doesn't exist. With that said, the face is going to be tough. Right, that face is too soft
Oh, the face is
and too small.
the most messed up part of this drawing. This woman's anatomy is just kind of screwy anyways. But her face is where they really, really, really fucked up. And small faces are really hard.
Yeah.
So it looks decent for a small face. But if you ever go in to try and touch up that face, she's going to get screwed.
Well, there's almost nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But this is a thing where you can add more if you want, but it's going to be, again, like that. I always bring it up, the Lisa Simpson thing. She gets gum in her hair. You just keep adding shit to it. And it's just like, yeah, it just doesn't work. So that's when it was fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when it's fresh, it looks a lot better. Like
Of course.
You can see more darks. But the thing is now that it's healed and you see that the darks didn't heal properly, I would go in and add the
It's
darks
that
back in.
these light washes they used were too dark. Right?
I agree.
Like it was the light washes weren't light enough, and they didn't come out the way that they probably envisioned.
I also think this photo is probably the one the tattooer took, and
Oh,
they
of course it
always
is.
fuck around.
Well, there's
some
a
fuckery.
light on this,
Yeah.
and they probably ramped up the contrast, but we'll grade it on the healed, which in this case is the more honest photo.
I'm not seeing any white highlights. Oh, I do, but they're like almost not there, those white highlights. In the first
Well,
one, they're super apparent.
You may as well have not used them, because they didn't use them in a way that makes sense, and there's far too much shit going on here and almost no negative space, which negative space is your highlight typically.
Yep.
You know,
I don't really like white highlights because
well, they can have a purpose.
they can.
But you
I
have
think
to
they
use
look
some-
good when you use them right, but I don't think this tattoo needed highlights.
Yeah, no, this
Tattoos
is
like this don't need
a
highlights.
little bit like the first one, where on its face, the subject matter would have been a win. I like the burning church. I like the biblically accurate angels. I haven't seen this tattoo done on a really grand scale in a way that I really like yet.
I haven't seen a good biblically accurate angel tattoo yet either. Like a seraphim or whatever. I haven't seen one that I like.
So I want to love it, but the same rules applies to things we like as it does things we don't like. And for that reason, even though I didn't love the subject matter of the back and front piece that we just reviewed, I do like it. I don't love it as much as I love the subject matter. In this case, the technical application is far more important to me every time. And so this one is, I think, a little better than the church, in my opinion, but it's just too flat and monotone. I would get some harder darks in there.